guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Fitzgerald Hyundai in Clearwater, Florida, because guess what? We're doing the big comparison. I have the all-new 2020 Sonata. We're gonna put it up against the outgoing 2019 Sonata. So let's talk a little bit about Hyundai and their history. So they've been around selling cars in the United States basically since 1986. It all started with the Hyundai Excel hatchback, sedan. Boy, have things changed since then. Now the Sonata, believe it or not, made its first appearance all the way back in 1989. Really the big booming year for the Sonata was 2011. Hyundai really took a brave leap on some awesome styling that launched that car into such popularity they had a hard time keeping up with production. The 2019, that generation of Sonata, some people felt was a little stale, a little bit boring from the previous one. Well, guess what? With the latest generation, the all-new 2020 Sonata, Hyundai's saying we're back and we're bringing that bold styling to get people to come to this South Korean brand. So let's go ahead. We're gonna compare the outgoing 2019 Sonata to the all-new 2020 Sonata. So coming back to the 2019, you could see that final year of styling, a lot of gloss black down here. The good news is you do have the lower lighting, and this is a functional air curtain. We have LED headlights. You can see the nice chrome that's built in to the surround of the headlight housing. Everything inside's blacked out. They took that chrome design, that angular design, into the lower fascia, brought it all the way across the lower section where this little lip spoiler is, and then a very, very unique branding of grille design. This grille design, if you go to any of the Hyundais here at Fitzgerald's, they have this same overall design. It's sort of like a nice ribbon link fence design. It's got the shiny bits, that Hyundai emblem that's becoming really an iconic emblem because they're bringing some styling and value to the car market just unseen. But this is what we're working with, the front end of the business. If we go up onto the hood, you can see how there's just two body lines. It starts on the front fascia, goes up onto the hood, sort of in V formation. But now let's go to the 2020. Look at this thing. Some people are saying, and I could kind of see it, and I know you may zonk me for it, it has a little bit of an Aston Martin look from the front. Very, very wide, very low. Look at these headlights. All LED, daytime running lamps that actually start in the housing, but guess what? They actually go onto this trim work here. It's called a hidden lighting lamp. That's what Hyundai's calling it. And it actually lights up, the daytime running lamp actually lights up, and where the actual molding, the chrome molding is, it's not until this part right here. So all of this at night is gonna be a very unique identifier to the Sonata that you'll see it from a million miles away. Down low, we do have this fake gloss black venting. I am gonna zonk this. I wish they would have just kept it smooth. You do have, though, very, very aggressive air curtains on the side. Talking about aggression, as we come into that front grille, do you see the overall shape? Still the same, nothing shiny chrome to it. It's all gloss black. Now, sitting here at Fitzgerald's, it looks good. Only time will tell how this ages with wear, but I do like the very low, aggressive front lip spoiler. Really, like I said, large and wide opening. When we go up onto the hood, you have, first of all, the hood actually comes all the way down. So there's no front fascia that actually comes up onto the hood, but the hood here, nice line all the way back to the windshield. I like that center raised section, especially from the outgoing one. And then there's some nice gentle lines with a crease that runs the length of the hood all the way towards each corner. Really think they hit the nail on the head with doing something different, doing something fresh, doing something new. Let's go ahead. We checked out the fronts. Let's check out the sides and the backs of these two Sonatas. All right, guys, time to check out that outgoing 2019. Now, the wonderful thing about the 2019s is that they are blowing them out the door. They want to find forever homes, and the rebates and incentives are just crazy. So if you're looking for a value, this is still a great value. As we come around the bend, you can see how the headlight housing comes around. This has that LED intelligent lighting system. We drop down. Here is what we're working with, wheel and tires. So this is an 18-inch wheel. It's a nice, like almost like brushed aluminum look to it. Multi-spoke. I like the look of it. Goes well with the color of the car. If you're wondering, well, what's the size of this tire? It's 235 on the width, 45 series sidewall. As we go into the fender, you can see where that chrome trim, just like on the new one, chrome trim goes all the way down the fender. I like the way they shaped the side mirrors on the outgoing one. You have slim and trim LED lighting, chrome trim top and bottom around the side windows, and then you have a nice panoramic roof, and guess what? It's totally painted black. So if you look at a Mercedes, they actually leave the color on the back portion. I think that doesn't look right. It's nice to just be all a nice cohesive color from front to back. Little bit of color, chrome on the door handles, some chrome down low across the sill. And then as we come down, here's your belt line. You follow your belt line all the way down. You can see how the rear quarter window comes into a nice point, and they extend that molding all the way out. And then we keep working our way back towards the rear of the car. No trunk lid spoiler or anything like that. You can see how they tried to keep the cohesive connection with the front. Remember how I showed you up front with the headlights, the chrome that went around the housing? Same deal back here. Obviously full LED. This one has the 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. We come across the back, that Sonata name. We drop down, and guess what? Real exhaust. They are that vacuum style shape, but I'm not going to zonk them because they do have a little bit of a detailed shape to it rather than just being a flat out rectangle. Very aggressive diffuser for the back of a Sonata. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the all new 2020 Sonata and see what's different. All right guys, time to check out the side and the back. As we come around the bend, just look at the lines here. Look at that nice crease, a little bit of an extension into the side. You do have these functional scoops on the side because remember, the air is going to be coming in from the front. I like that extra detail. This seems out of place. I wish they could have taken this and kind of hid it in those hidden lighting lamps. But like I said, up on the fender, this is actually the fender. Hood starts here, fender here. That is your lighting strip. This is chrome. As we drop down, nice crease. Look at how it comes from that vent all the way around, and then these wheels are a thing of beauty. Still 18-inch, just like the 2019 over there, but boy, the style. I love the machined aluminum gloss black. Even the detail on the center cap here, very, very nice touch from Hyundai. As we continue down the side, they did a little retweaking of the side mirrors. I like the blacked out look with the smaller LED turn signal. Still the same trim around the windows, which I think is smart. Now, here's where they went really smart. They took some of this beautiful color, brought it onto the door handles with some of that chrome to just tie it all in. Low side sill extension. What's crazy is if you think this thing looks aggressive and sporty, they're coming out with an N version. That's going to be something to really review on Rady's Rides. I can't wait for that. But we keep working our way back. That nice low sloping roof. You do get panoramic sunroof, and same story. The whole roof is all blacked out. I really love that look, especially with this color. It's called glowing yellow. And here in the Florida sun, it is definitely glowing. Nice, strong belt line all the way to the rear. Look at that, follows it all the way. I like it because it makes it look even more flared out than what it is. And then coming to the back end of the car, if you thought the front was unique, the tail end of the business is very unique. Look at this fold that they put into the trunk. It gives it, even though there's no trunk lid spoiler, it gives it a nice kick up for that air to flow off. You have vortex generators on tops of the taillight housing. That's there to cool out the turbulence of air coming off that roof line. Full LED all the way across. That Sonata script, the Hyundai badge. You got your gloss black. And if you're looking for exhaust, on this particular model, it's gonna be a twin looking outlet. It's basically one, but they kind of squared off into two. I'm gonna zonk that. I like to have the balanced look on both sides. I'm gonna say this is because it's an SEL and not a limited, but stay tuned because we are gonna be bringing you a limited trim of this Sonata, but this one has the 1.6 turbocharged engine inline 4. So a little different. They went a little bit smaller than the outgoing one, but a lot of gloss black. Looks good. We'll see what it looks like 3 years from now. And then a very, very unique rear diffuser. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hoods and see how these are different. All right, guys, we got the hoods popped on these two Sonatas. They both come with hood struts right from the factory. We're gonna start with the 2019, the outgoing Sonata. What you're looking at is that 2-liter, so just like it says, turbocharged engine, a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. You're looking at 245 horsepower out of that 2-liter turbocharged engine. When we're looking at torque numbers, 260 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated through an 8-speed automatic transmission. The car weighs around 3,380 pounds. MPGs, 25 in the city, 35 on the highway, 0 to 60 in about 7.1 seconds. Now let's focus on the 2020. Things may be a little surprising. In the 2020, it's actually a smaller engine. It's a 1.6-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 180 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque, still mated through that 8-speed automatic transmission. The car weighs 3,328 pounds. Surprisingly though, almost the same 0 to 60. 0 to 60 in 7.3 seconds, quarter mile in 15.6 at 90 miles an hour, top speed 135, and here's where you're gonna be a little bit better of a winner. 28 miles per gallon in city, 37 on the highway. That is an increase over the previous generation. The good news is, I like when you open up both of these hoods, you still see a majority of the engine, even the engine cover. It's so small now in the 2020s, it just covers the ignition modules. So other than that, you can see everything of the inner working bits when you pop the hoods. But why don't we go ahead, fire these two Sonatas up and see what they sound like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019. Now remember, this one is a limited trim, so it's actually a higher trim level than that 2020 SEL. This one, MSRPs, now this is MSRP. Like I said, I'm not talking about incentives, rebates, what deal you could do with your best friend's uncle's girlfriend's sister's cousin that works at a dealership 5 miles away from you live. MSRP is $33,000. Let's see what you get to the door panels. Now the door panels are a little bland. There's a lot of dark material. They do bring a silver sort of faux carbon fiber in there. The good news is that the top of the door panel is soft. The armrest is not too bad. It's made out of rubber, but it's not too bad. You do have the upgraded Infinity sound system. When you go from the door panel to the dash, soft material, there's more of that silver faux carbon fiber. It's actually pretty tasteful. It's not trying to be too racy looking. Infotainment system, that's gonna be a 7-inch infotainment system. Nice sliding feature. Of course, Apple CarPlay, of course, Android Auto. This one does have navigation because it is a limited trim. We can go ahead and go into your nav menu right there. You can see how clear the font is. Very, very fast reacting. There's our map. I don't know why I don't want to search anywhere, but here we are at Fitzgerald Hyundai. Nice, sort of like a gunmetal gray color. You got your metal looking start stop button over here. Radio controls, nice and slim. You have dual climate control, which is always a nice feature. Here's the great news. In the Limited, you're getting ventilated seats and heated seats, heated steering wheel. And then as we drop down, wireless charging, two 12 volts, a USB, and an aux jack. So it's like everything you could think of, including the kitchen sink when it comes to connectivity. This is gonna control that 8-speed automatic. I like the leather. The blue stitching's nice. Little bit of gloss black. Yes, there's fingerprints. Get yourself a Sonata little towel and you can buff those out. Let me show you the key fob. Key fob's kind of interesting. It's brown. I don't know why they went that color, but okay, we'll go with it. It does look pretty, which is nice, and it's not too large. You have different drive modes, which we'll talk about that in a second. Electric e-brake. And then this armrest, if you ever wondered how hard is an old piece of Korean barbecue that's been sitting around for a year, that's it right there. This thing is like a South Korean rock, but it does have nice stitching. I open it up, you have a little party tray here for Tootsie Rolls and breath mints, and then you have a larger area that's felt lined at the bottom. That's gonna be perfect. I would probably say 4 Twinkies and an apple if you're trying to balance out the good with the bad. Seats, they actually embossed turbo here, just to remind you that you have a turbocharger under the hood. I do like the nice perforated leather. Good amount of style to it with the blue piping and the blue stitching. They did a really great job there. You do have, like I said, that nice large style sunroof. And then seating, I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom. Feels really good. Why don't you come on over to the business end? I'll show you behind the wheel of this 2019 Sonata. All right, guys, we're behind the wheel. I do like the nice brushed aluminum down here that says Sonata in case you forget what kind of car you own. You do have electric assist on the back, on the bottom, which is really nice. You could really get it to position to your body type. Steering wheel, they do a great job. Flat bottom. This, it's borderline almost looking too plasticky and cheap, but I don't mind it too much. Simple on the buttons, they're flat black. You do have large paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that 8-speed automatic transmission. And then of course, in the center there, you're gonna have that digital display, which you could go through all sorts of information. You have an analog speedometer and an analog tach, coolant and fuel gauge. And like I promised you, there's different drive modes. So we have Eco, Sport, Smart, and then Comfort. So nice to have that selectability, and then obviously whichever one you choose is going to change the parameters of how engine power delivery is, throttle response, steering, and all that good stuff. But why don't we check out the back seat and see this last generation of this year, what the heck room we have back there. All right, guys, back seat time. You know, this car, these cars, obviously going up against the Accord, the Mazda 6, the Altima. No, scratch that. Yes, the Altima. I was correct. I don't know why I ever second guess myself. Never do that in your life. Never second guess yourself. Obviously, the Toyota Camry. The good news is getting in and out of those doors, lots of room. Now, the backs of the seats have this plastic. I know those of you that have kids don't mind it because they're going to kick the backs of the seats and put their boogers and all other stuff on the back. I would like it to have leather all the way around. You do have 2 nice AC vents for the rear passengers and a 12 volt. So that's nice. 12 volt, what is wrong with me? A USB. So we have a USB there, nicely placed. Lots of room. I got plenty of headroom back here, obviously for the panoramic sunroof. The rest of that can slide back. Armrests. 2 cup holders, nicely padded. We put that back. Other than that, I got plenty of leg room. Feels really good back here. Let's go ahead and check out that trunk space. All right, guys, time to check out what kind of room we have in the trunk. Now, what I love about Hyundai is that they actually took the button and integrated it right into their emblem. You push right here, up goes the trunk. Nice large opening. If you're wondering, I know some people have been writing in, they're like, Joe, tell us how much cubic space there is. 16.3 cubic feet in the back of this trunk. Of course, the seats are going to do a 60-40 split. You just pull these nicely placed handles. Other than that, it just goes to show you don't need an SUV. You don't need to be like everybody else. Be unique. Stand out from the crowd. But we close that down. Let's go ahead and check out that 2020 and see how different it is. All right, guys, time to check out this 2020. I hope you have some paper towels around because your mind is going to be blown just to mush after you hear some of this and see some of this. So if you're wondering, well, should I get a 2020? What's the price point? Now, remember, this one is a SEL S trim, like a plus. That one is limited. So that 2019 is actually higher trim than this one. This one, SEL, it's like a SEL plus. How much is it? MSRP $31,000. So it's cheaper than the limited. Obviously, that makes sense. But let's see what you get to the door panels. I love how things have changed. Even though there's still a lot of dark material there, I really dig how they integrated the silver trim into the door handle to open the door. Also brought some silver into that Bose tweeter. And then you can see, obviously, the larger grille for the Bose speaker. I wish they would have brought some silver around that lower speaker cover, so I am going to zonk that. But definitely an improvement over the 2019 or that outgoing generation. You have some simulated stitching type material here. Very, very soft. That same nice silver trim. Look at how it just goes gently and just flows. Whew. What is it showing off? Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. That's an over 10-inch infotainment system screen. Obviously, horizontal display. Yes, it is an iPad style, but look at how it's integrated into the dash. Perfect line of sight for you to see it. We got the Navi up. If you want to touch the screen, you could touch the screen if you want to. You could go into all your different controls. We could go into our map. You hit home. Look at this. You can set it up 3 different functions going on, all different things. Of course, you got your swipe feature, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and everything else. It even make you a cup of coffee as well. So really nice full Bose system. We come down. Look at how tasteful these air vents are. I never thought I would get excited about an AC vent until I sat in this car. Even the way that they put the hazards button in there, very nice touch. We get down here, a little bit of gloss black, but I like what's going on. You have dual climate control, heated seats, but no ventilated seats in this trim level. That's okay, I can understand that. But look at this, wireless charging, 2 USBs and a 12 volt, nicely placed. You can get things in and out of. You have your push button transmission. Now, same 8-speed automatic transmission. Here's your updated key fob, which is a very nice touch. It has the Hyundai logo on the back. It's covered up. I can't peel that off, but trust me, it's there. I like this trim. This doesn't look like carbon fiber, but it looks good. A little bit of gloss black. You do have a drive mode selector switch here, which I'll show you that in a second when you come over to the business end. 2 cup holders. Armrest is a little bit softer. I don't know why they're going so hard on the armrest, but I do love the leather material. Red contrast stitching. We open it up and you got plenty of room in there for, I would probably say, you probably fit about 12 Twinkies in there standing up. So very nicely done by Hyundai. Seats, a thing of beauty. Leather, I love the red piping. Alcantara suede material in the center. Really nice design overall. Now you do have manual for the passenger, but full electric for the driver. And like I said, that panoramic sunroof, we open it up, look at that. Nice style, let the vitamin D rain upon us. Real smooth operating, looks great. You got a frameless auto dimming mirror and 6 feet tall, and I got plenty of room in here. Get on over to the business end. I want to show you behind the wheel of the 2020 Sonata. All right, guys, we're behind the wheel of the 2020 Sonata. Now, there's no fancy aluminum trim down here compared to the Limited. Of course, you're getting all the full safety features, but look at the design that they brought into the dash. I love the nice silver, nice soft material steering wheel. I'm gonna zonk it, and the reason why is I don't like this lower connecting level here, and the horn button looks a little too alienish to me. But the thickness is spot on, the red stitching is beautiful. You still have the paddles behind the wheel, which is great. Even look at the little work that they put into the tips of the stocks for the lights and for your windshield wipers. Nice touches. And then look at that dash. That's a 12.3-inch digital display. Tons of information that you can get in the center there as you toggle through. So that's a really, really nice look at it. You could go into all different types of controls. There's our lane keep assist. Let me show you the mode selector. Hold on, Tom. I got to show this off. Look at this. So now we're in sport. Look at how it changes. Unbelievable what you're getting for the price point. This is not a Mercedes. This is not an Audi, but yet I'm blown away by that beautiful dash. I like the red the best, of course, because red means race, right? But definitely knocked it out of the park with the dash and the infotainment. Seat is nice, supportive, and comfortable. I just wish, like I said, you know, the zonk would have to be a little bit of too much gloss black going on this section where you're going to be touching a lot. And the steering wheel, I'm not the biggest fan, but why don't we go ahead and check out the back seat and see how your passengers are going to like this 2020 Sonata. All right, guys, back seat time. They really knocked it out of the park. Tons of space back here. Feel even more comfortable than I did in that 2019. You're going to still get the 2 AC vents. You got your USB down there. Love the soft leather style material. We pulled down the armrests. Great height. 2 cup holders. Put it back up. I got plenty of leg room, even though, and I didn't move the seat all the way forward. So for a mid-sized car going up against the other brands, lots of room back here. Still the plastic though. I don't like the cargo net. That looks cheap to me, so I zonked that. And I don't have kids, so nobody's kicking the back of my seats. But I know if you do have kids, I get it. Just tell them not to kick the seats. Don't they listen? They should. Sloping roof design, and even being 6 feet tall back here, comfortable. So that's the wonderful thing. Let's go ahead and check out the trunk space and see if we're losing anything back there. All right, guys, time to check out. Is the trunk any different than the outgoing one? We press that hidden button, up goes the trunk. I love how wide the opening is to get things in and out. You're still gonna get those great handles to do the 60-40 split. It's just a tad smaller. The 2019 is 16.3 cubic feet of space. This is 16 flat, but I promise you, you're not gonna miss that 0.3. And what you're getting styling wise, I think we've already talked about that and shown that out. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the best part. Let's drive these two Sonatas and see how different they are. All right, guys, we're gonna start off in the 2019 Sonata. The interesting thing is that this is really overall a great car. And if you're looking for value, I really think that at the price point that they're trying to get these out the door, because the 2020s are rolling in, you're getting a ton of car. Already where you're getting a ton of car for the money, you're getting a real large amount of car for the money. And remember, this car is going up against the Mazda 3, the Altima, the Nissan Altima, the Honda Accord, the Toyota Camry. Those are its main competitors in this segment. Looks, yes, the interior definitely looks dated when you compare it to the newer stuff that's out. And that's just, you know, as time goes by, things get changed. And many times they get changed for the better. Although, with the steering wheel, I do like the steering wheel setup. I like the turn-in, feels good. We're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put it into sport mode. What that's gonna do is it's gonna adjust all the parameters of the transmission shifting, the weight of the steering, all that good stuff. But overall, throttle response is very, very smooth. Seats are comfortable, and visibility is great. It really is. Now, the armrest, like I pointed out, is as hard as a rock, but everything else, I love the ventilated seats. Limited trim, nice to have those ventilated seats at a great price point. Navigation, the infotainment system, I know many people like that integrated setup. It looks very clean. The graphics are very crisp on it. And overall, very, very smooth driving car. There is a bit of wind noise I'm noticing, but nothing too drastic. Brakes feel good. Nice feedback from the pedal. Overall, I like I said, I think when it comes to value, you're really gonna do ultra well with the value of this 2019 Sonata. Pulling out on throttle, that 2-liter. It's a little buzzy. Shifts are not the smoothest. And I know I have it in sport mode, but I'm surprised that the shifts, like, you could really feel those shifts taking place, which is interesting because normally on a lot of cars, even though we put in sport mode, the shifts are still smooth overall. Let me go ahead and change modes here. I'm gonna go into comfort and see if there's any difference. So back on throttle, drops down. Yeah, it's definitely smoother. Still though, not as smooth as I would like to see, because you really don't want to feel every shift in a car like this. This isn't a high performance car. It's not about going through the gears, whether it's through the paddles or the transmission itself. But it's nice to have that option to use the paddles if you want to. Controls are easy to get to. That's the best part. Everything is within arm's reach, which is very nice. And I'm telling you, I like the ventilated seat option. It's definitely going to help on those hotter days. But this is a good starting point for where they went from 2019 to that 2020. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to jump in that 2020. So we're gonna get back to Fitzgerald. Hopefully this gave you a good overview of the 2019, and we're gonna now see what the 2020 is all about. All right, guys, we parked the 2019. We're in the 2020 Sonata. I'm telling you right now, they've done one heck of a job with this interior. Besides the steering wheel, it's not my favorite. Is it the worst steering wheel I've ever seen in the world? No. That goes to my mom's Buick Grand Estate wagon back from 1986. The rest of the interior though is amazing. I love how clear it is to see the navigation, perfectly placed. I know you're gonna think, oh, does it look too cheap being like that iPad style? It's not. They integrated it very smartly. The dash with the instrumentation there is great. Let me go ahead and change drive modes. I'm gonna put in sport. Love how it changes. Really, really nice, clear graphics. And so smooth and quiet in here. Seats are supportive without squeezing you, without being too aggressive. The steering actually has a nice weight to it. That's one of the things that changes as you go through the different modes. which is important because it's nice. If you want to have, like myself, I like to have a little bit extra weight to the steering. You know, would I want ventilated seats? Sure. Living in Florida, living anywhere where the sun comes up, I would want ventilated seats. You just got to go a higher trim. That's the difference. But visibility out the front is nice. People are looking, especially with this color. They're like, what is that? It's a Hyundai. Yes, they are doing some really amazing things with this car. With all their cars, really. Just like their sister brand Kia. Mind-blowing. But very, very smooth. Let's go ahead and I'm going to get on the brakes here. Good feedback from the pedal. Turning is nice. Feels really, really good. Now, what's interesting is that the different sounds in here get a little unique, especially when you shut the car off. When you turn the engine off, it gives you a nice little symphony sound as you're leaving, as a way of saying, thank you for driving me today. But let me go ahead and get a little bit of space here. I want to do an acceleration with the 1.6, compare that to the 2-liter. Even though it's got more horsepower, still 0 to 60 is the same. We get on throttle, smooth shifts. Is it the fastest? Is it going to go up against an Accord 2-liter Sport with the detuned Type R motor? No, it's not that quick. But they are coming out, like I said, with an N version, and there's different engine options coming down the road. But compared to the 2019, still has that same great pep to it, just like the 2019, even though it has less horsepower, and you're getting a better return on your MPGs, which is a nice touch. I just can't believe how quiet it is in here. They did a great job with the sound deadening. Everywhere you're touching, it feels good. It feels upscale. Does not feel like you know, a car that costs $31,000. It feels like you're in a more expensive car. But pulling out here, let me go ahead and get on throttle again. Nice sound. It doesn't sound you know, like a inline-4 screaming away or anything like that. And the shifts from the 8-speed are very, very smooth. Over the bumps, everything feels controlled. But we're going to go ahead. Hopefully this gave you a nice overview of this car. We're going to go ahead and get back to Fitzgerald Hyundai and wrap this up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a pretty amazing time with these two Sonatas. I personally love looking at old generations, seeing where we've been, and with the new generations, where are we going? If it was my money, I would spend a little bit more and definitely go the 2020 route with the new Sonata. But I definitely got to thank Rob and the rest of the crew here at Fitzgerald's Hyundai, giving us access not only to one Sonata, but two Sonatas. And it's just amazing what type of engineering and work they have done at Hyundai. As you can hear, we have some Radies Ride subscribers honking. They want to get some pictures. So we'll see you guys in 1 second. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If there's anything in particular you want to see on the channel, leave that in the comment section. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Ride family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Radies Ride merch. Got to give it up to Tom Moschner, Big Guns McGee, getting two Sonatas. He's loving both of them. He's definitely putting his weights on the 2020. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.